I can feel you here with me. I know the ache you're carrying. The small, sharp surprises in the mirror that steal the breath from your chest. You stand very still and expect to see the self you remember, a quick glance, a familiar tilt of the head, the same smile that used to come easily. Instead, there is someone else. A face that reads years you do not feel. Lines where laughter used to live. Skin that sags in places you were certain would never change. Hair, thinner, slower movements, reflected back like an accusation. You reach out as if to touch the person in the glass, as if that might prove this is only a trick, but your fingers meet cold glass and the reality of it presses in. That moment can feel like a small death. There's grief for what has been lost, not just for youth, but for identity. Who am I now, you think? You hold tightly to the stories that defined you. The worker, the lover, the friend, the strong one. You fear those stories slipping away, one soft line at a time, until you hardly recognize your own life. You may be finding yourself shrinking inside, measuring your worth by what the world still seems to need from you. Maybe you worry you're becoming invisible to others, like you might as well be air, or worse, an inconvenient reminder of time passing. Anger sneaks in too. It can flare hot, unfair, unjust. Why now, you ask? Why these changes when I still have so much to give? Why am I overlooked when I still long to matter? That anger can sit next to a deeper, quieter resentment toward your own body, like a betrayal. It feels wrong that the vessel that carried you, protected you, trusted you to take care of it, now seems to be taking without consulting you. There is shame as well. When someone comments a certain way, a casual remark about getting old, it lands like an insult that echoes long after. You may feel burdened by the cultural hunger for youth, the relentless images that tell you to hide every crease, to smooth every shadow, to buy back time with lotions and lights and filters. When your reflection refuses to conform to these demands, the world says, silently, you don't belong where you once fit. And that whisper wounds. Loneliness often sits quietly in the same room. Maybe friends no longer notice the small changes, or the circle feels smaller because energy and access have shifted. You might be awake at night with a stew of worries. Will I be a burden? Will I outlive my savings? Will I outlast the patience of those I love? Will my body's limits mean I can't do the things that made life rich? Sleep becomes a fragile thing because thoughts keep circling the doctor's next appointment, the medication list, the ache that won't go away. Those hours can feel like a long hallway with no light at the end. And underneath it all is an honest, trembling fear of loss. The loss of capacity, of appearance, of memory, of roles that once felt essential. When the mirror shows you a face you barely recognize, you're grieving not only what you were, but also the kind of future you had imagined for yourself. You had plans and expectations and a rhythm of life that made sense. Now, rhythms are different. The future you pictured feels less secure, and uncertainty is exhausting. If you have been told it's just part of life, that answer can feel cold, distant, insufficient. It minimizes the sting, as if grief had a time limit and yours has expired. If you're dealing with financial stress, on top of it worrying about medical bills, mobility aids, the rising costs of care, then the mirror becomes one more compounded worry. Your body changing is not an isolated sorrow. It presses on relationships, on work, on dignity. The weight multiplies. Sometimes, beneath the surface, there is also a quiet, almost guilty relief. Maybe being less visible keeps you from being asked to do the impossible. Maybe slowing down has given you time to notice small things. But that relief is tangled up with sadness, and you can't untangle the threads easily. You find yourself walking with 100 contradictory feelings, and no place that seems safe to set them down. I'm sitting beside you in this moment. I don't want to rush past the hurt with platitude. Your loss is real. The sense of dissonance between the inner life, the music of who you are, and the body that now keeps its own time, is a wound that deserves recognition. It's okay to name that wound. You don't have to tuck it away or pretend it's not breaking you. I hear the fatigue in your voice, even when you try to laugh. I feel your hand tremble when you look at old photos and then at your reflection. I am with you in this hollowness. I hold your loneliness like you are holding it gently, without trying to fix it all at once. Because there is another truth I want to bring gently to you. You are not alone. In the quietness between your breaths, there is one who knows these deep aches perfectly. Before I say more, let us rest for a moment in the honesty of your pain, and then together we will turn toward a presence that meets brokenness with compassion. Listen to these words that have cradled many hearts across years like this. Even to your old age I am he, and to gray hairs I will carry you. I have made, and I will bear. I will carry, and will save. Isaiah 4:64. Do not cast me off in the time of old age. Do not forsake me when my strength is spent. Psalm 7:19. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Hebrews 4:15. I am with you always, to the end of the age. Matthew 28:20. These scriptures do not gloss over the pain. They name that, even in the gray and in the spent strength, God is present. Isaiah's words are tender, with the promise that God will carry you, not as someone far away, but as one who stays near to the real burdens of your life. The psalmist famously cries out against being cast off in old age. That cry is yours too when you feel abandoned. Hebrews reminds us that Jesus understands weakness intimately. He is not a distant observer. He entered our human experience, including its suffering and limits. And the promise, I am with you always, is not a polite sign-off. It's the steady hand that will not let go. I do not bring these verses as a bandage to cover over pain. I place them like a warm hand on the place where your ribs ache. There is meaning and company in. If you're willing, breathe with me now, slow and gentle. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. As you move through this rhythm, let the words settle into your chest like a small, steady flame. We are not bypassing the hurt. We are companioning it while inviting presence into it. There's something important to say right here. Grief and acceptance live together. They do not cancel each other out. Accepting that parts of your body have changed does not mean you stop mourning what those parts were. You can grieve and still be tender toward yourself. These are not steps on a tidy timeline. They are handholds that you find as you climb out of exhaustion and into a place of rest. Now I want to invite you into a slow, caring exploration of what this life has carried you through. It may be tempting to judge yourself for what you feel. Resist that. Allow me to witness with you as we name what's been lost and what remains. Start by bringing your attention to the face in the mirror. The face that shocks. See it without the soundtrack of shame. You don't have to like what you find there, but allow yourself to recognize that this face is a map. Each line is a path you've traveled. Those creases near the eyes might mark years of laughter, or nights of worry, or both. The skin that is thinned has been stretched by a lifetime of breath, by seasons of sun and shade, by sorrow and by joy. The muscles that now move differently are the same ones that held your hands with a child, that worked long days, that steadied another in need. Let this be true. Your body has been loyal, even when it now feels unreliable. Feel the grief. Speak it aloud if you can, or let it rest silently in your chest. I miss how I used to be. I am angry at what my body has taken from me. I am afraid of being forgotten. Each sentence is a true piece of your story. When these words have room, let's remember the small acts of grace your body still performs each day, without you needing to command it. The quiet beating of the heart, the reflex that keeps you upright, the breath that comes in and out like the ocean of life. These are not trivial. They are miracles wearing everyday clothes. Try to notice one small thing your body did today that you might otherwise overlook. Maybe it moved with ease to bring a warm cup to your lips. Maybe you smiled at a memory and felt something light. Maybe your feet carried you outside into fresh air. Offer these small acts a soft word of thanks. We're not trying to force gratitude. We're practicing attention for what is still loyal to you. You may also carry regrets about things you can no longer do. That is real, and it must be acknowledged. We will not pretend mobility, strength, or memory loss are small things. They are huge. But this is also a time when the soul can grow deeper roots. When the body eases pace, the heart sometimes finds new capacities to love, to imagine, to forgive, to accept support. There can be a richness in this season that the hurried years sometimes obscure. This is not consolation for loss. It is a gentle recognition that life is still unfolding, differently than you planned, but not without gifts. I want to tell you a truth that has held me in my own nights of despair. Wounds do not erase value. Scars testify to survive. Your stretched skin, your thinning hair, your slower steps. These are not margins that make you worth less. They are the script of endurance. Where society may whisper that you are less, the gospel insists otherwise. Jesus meets those whom society pushes aside. He sits with the lonely, touches the untouchable, and bends close to those whom the world wants to hurry past. He is the kind of companion who does not rush to fix everything immediately, but stays, holding what is fragile. Close your eyes for a moment if that feels safe. Imagine the presence of Jesus kneeling down beside you. You do not need to earn his attention. He looks at you with a tenderness that does not demand anything in return. He sees the lines in your face, and he calls them by new names. Not blemishes, but the story of a life loved and lived. He knows the ache of the body, because his body was broken too. He knows the tenderness of healing, because he healed many who were dismissed. He is not shocked by your grief. He is not impatient with your anger. Hear these words spoken slowly into your heart, like a friend leaning close. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Let that invitation settle. You are not being asked to fix anything right now. You are only being invited to rest with him. Allow your shoulders to unclench. Let your jaw soften. Imagine a warm light, a gentle, steady glow bathing the parts of you that feel raw. This light does not erase your history. It honors it. It warms the scarred places, not to burn them away, but to knit them with tenderness. We have been talking about how the mirror can feel like an enemy. Now I want to teach your heart a new way to look. Not out of denial, but out of compassionate seeing. When you look in the mirror, say to the person you see, I see you. You have been brave. You have loved. You have survived. Try it softly, as if you were talking to a dear friend. Let these words sink in. They are not lies. The truth in them is strong enough to hold you. If it's okay, I want to lead you through a short, gentle visualization that honors your life and invites a healing presence to rest upon it. Imagine you are on a quiet path near water, late in the day. The sun is low, and the air is warm enough to make your skin feel safe. The path is familiar, like one you walked often, and each step is steady. Beside you walks a companion, the kind of person who has known sorrow and has gentleness as a learned skill. You both sit on a low bench where the grass meets the water. The companion turns to you and takes your hand. There is no hurry. The water reflects the sky, and as you watch the surface, it's as if the busy noise in your head quiets. The companion speaks softly. Tell me about the parts that you miss. You do. You speak of your former energy, your lost roles, the ways your body surprised you. The companion listens without interruption. Then they say, you are not defined by a single season. You are held through all of them. They reach out and trace the line of your hand, as if mapping your life. Each line becomes not a fault, but a chapter. Each grain of skin is a memory. The companion points to a small, bright feather floating on the water. See that? They say. Look how it rests, without the wind demanding it. This is how God invites us to be held, not strained. As you gaze, feel a gentle power at the base of your spine, like a root finding water. It's a slow, nourishing presence. It does not rush to change what you see. Instead, it begins to slow time around the sharp edges of your fear. The future becomes less a cliff and more a path with room to breathe. You are allowed to take small steps. You are allowed to be tender with yourself. This is the touch of grace, not magic, that erases the wrinkles, but a reorientation that helps you see yourself through a truer lens. Grace says you are beloved, even when your picture is different. This is not a platitude. It's a reality that can be entered by faith, by prayer, by the simple practice of resting in God's presence. Now, I want to name something else that you may be carrying guilt. Perhaps you think you should be stronger. Perhaps you compare yourself to others who seem to carry aging with ease. Guilt can be corrosive, but God's mercy is wider than that guilt. Think of the most tender thing someone ever did for you. A small kindness that felt like a warm blanket. Let that memory remind you of how God treats you, not with accusation, but with patient compassion. You might be wondering, what does healing look like? Healing is not always about a reversal of symptoms. Sometimes it is, but often healing looks like a heart rearranged, a life reshaped, so that what matters most becomes clearer. Healing can mean a new kind of strength to face the days. It can mean acceptance that is fertile instead of resign. It can mean the courage to ask for help, to keep relationships that sustain you, to let others carry you sometimes. Healing is a process, not a single event. And God's presence walks that process with you. As we move further into this time together, consider gently naming one small thing you'd like to invite healing into. Perhaps it is a relationship you want to rebuild. Maybe it's permission to rest without guilt. Maybe it's a request for relief from a particular pain. Take that desire and hold it in your hands like a fragile bird. Don't ask for the entire mountain to move. Ask for a footpath through the valley. God's ways are patient. He meets the small request with the same heart as the large. I will now offer a prayer with you. You do not have to speak. Just listen and let these words land in the hollow places. Lord Jesus, we come to you in the quiet with the honest ache of bodies that have carried so much. We lay down the shame, the anger, the fear of being forgotten. We ask you now to meet each one of these pains with your presence. You who bore wounds and knew human frailty, come and sit with us. Breathe over the parts that feel brittle. Hold the places where grief sits like a stone. Teach us to see our scars not as marks of failure, but as testimony to survival. Carry what we cannot carry ourselves. Help us to receive help from others with humility and gratitude. Remind us that rest is not a sin. It is a gift. Wrap us in your gentleness and give us a new vision of ourselves, loved, known, and held for all our days. Amen. Let's rest here a few moments in silence. You may feel a shift, a small softening, a tiny relief. That is enough. Healing often shows up as subtle courage. The courage to keep breathing, to keep washing your face in the morning, to keep loving in the ways you can. Before we close, I want to give you some tender, practical invitations. Small ways to live with humility and hope in the face of your changing reflection. Speak kindly to the person in the mirror. Language shapes perception. Avoid the harsh self-criticism that you would never use with a friend. Invite help. Let one person know what you need. It could be a neighbor to pick up a few groceries, a friend to sit and remember with you, or a family member to accompany you to a doctor's visit. Asking is brave. Keep a small journal of moments of gratitude and memory. On hard days, read those entries and let them remind you of continuity. Cultivate a prayer practice that is simple and steady. Even a few seconds each morning of breathing and a short prayer can reorient the heart. Find a community that values you wholly. Look for church groups, small gatherings, or ministries where presence and care are practiced more than performance. Rest. Rest is not surrender to decline. It is the wise tending of a life that has been long and full. You may still feel fear. That's okay. Fear is not a failure. It's a signal that something precious is being safeguarded. Hold your fear and hand it to the one who understands. Remember Hebrews 4:15? Jesus knows our weaknesses. He does not turn from them. He draws close. He heals in ways that we may not immediately recognize, but in ways that feed the soul. As we come to the close of this time, picture once more the bench by the water. The sun has gotten lower, and the companions stand slowly. They bend and set something in your lap. It's a small, smooth stone with a single word engraved on it. Beloved. Take it and say it to yourself. I am beloved. Say it slowly. Let it roll across the corners of your mouth and settle into your sternum. This word is not dependent on what your mirror says. It is a name that the divine gives to you. Persistent, tender, unwavering. We will end with a final blessing, a quiet benediction for your body and soul. May you be held by the one who carries you daily. May your grief find a companion who does not rush it. May your body be honored and your spirit be renewed like the morning light. May small mercies gather around you, a call, a touch, a kindness. And may you rest in the knowledge that you are known and loved beyond measure. If sleep comes, may it be deep and restorative. If rest does not come tonight, remember this moment when someone stood beside you and named your hurt. Come back to this breath. Come back to the warmth of God's presence. You are not alone. We will stay a while longer in silence, and then slowly, when you are ready, you can carry this calm with you into the next moments of your day or into the night. Rest now. I am with you. I will pray for you again, and I will be here when you return.